That song is 10 minutes long. It's from the Blade soundtrack. I was thinking about it because he was in the Deadpool movie.
Trump returns to the campaign trail today.
Kamala. I don't even know how to say her name anymore. Nancy, how do I say her name again? Kamala. So, one, please leave a comment. Oh, well, it's on the banner. Yeah, it's on the banner. It's on the banner. Leave a comment, people. Hit the like. Hello.
Or just by about a couple degrees. Probably the only areas that will notice too much or a little bit, which will be the valleys and the Inland Empire. Otherwise, we're not going to be noticing it much. So we're going to get into some triple digits, right around just 100 degrees, though, for some of the hottest spots for the valleys in IE. And so just slightly warmer than yesterday. Now, we have some patchy marine layer clouds over inland Orange County. So over Irvine, we have partly cloudy skies. It's really pretty, 66 degrees. Sun's trying to peek through there. Otherwise, we do have mostly clear skies. Temperatures for a couple spots on the cooler side, mostly we are mild, though. It's close to 70 in Ontario already. Same for Riverside. Van Nuys at about 68. Cool up in Oxnard, though, 61 degrees. And then we have about 66 in Santa Monica, 67 Redondo, and just 60 degrees over in Covina. We're going to get a little cooler this weekend, and then we do have hot weather returning next week. So I'll let you know how much hotter it's going to get in the coming days. And a nice weekend ahead, though. All that in just a bit, Mark. I'll send it back to you for now.
Okay, Brianna, thank you. Happening today, it is the grand opening of the newest.
So she finally realized that she's cheerleading for the wrong side. You know, there are no sides, people. It's America. It's Team America. But it's the corporations. And do you guys understand that my 401k is tied to corporations? My success. We live in a system where our success is tied to these corporations. We need to stop that. We need to cut that shit out. All right. Yeah. She bullied you. Well, one, Bullets, stop being a bitch. All right, Bullets? Stop letting Lolo punk you. All right. Fuck that shit. Slap that. You know? Say, Lolo, shut the Oh no, I'm gonna get canceled again. Mr. Lolo's gonna beat me up. Mr. Lolo's gonna beat. Oh, all right, never mind. I apologize. I would never do that. Oh God, is it about abortion? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Don't ask. Let's see what Brianna's up to. What's Brianna up to? Do I believe that healthcare should be a right? Yes, I believe that healthcare should be a right. I don't think there should be a profit motive in healthcare. Do you think that people should make money off of illness? Huh? Do you think there should be a profit motive in healthcare? That's the question. Bullets, do you understand that that's the problem that I have? Food, all right. Well, let me ask you a question, Bullets. Can you just walk onto a piece of land? Do we live in a world, if you're born in this country, can you just okay? Can you just walk onto a piece of land and live and live off the land? Can you hunt? Can you walk onto a piece of land today in the world that we live in and hunt for food? Huh? Without having to pay some fucking, permit or fee or have a license, and an ID to actually, be able to fucking reserve the thing and do the fucking thing. All right. So until we live in the world where I'm free to just walk onto a piece of land and live off the land, then yes, food is a right too, stupid. All right. Maybe I will, Bullets. Maybe I will. What if you don't think food is a form of healthcare? You don't think the reason why I'm overweight and why half the country is overweight and because of the sugar, because of all the fucking sugar that corporations put into food, so that I buy more fucking sugar, so that I get sugar cravings and I have to buy more fucking sugar. You're right though. We should stop eating sugar altogether. Like right now, like it's in my fucking coffee. All right. So then, are we all that? Then you're all with me. We're all getting off sugar, or is it just me? Because I have to set the example. People should not go bankrupt. Exactly. People should not go bankrupt. Yeah, you're a commie. Good to know. Yeah, you're an idiot. Good to know. You see? Go live off the land. Go be some fucking hillbilly living in the Blue Hills, okay? With the hills have eyes, all right? Is that what you're talking about? Is that the world that you want to live in, you fucking idiot? Huh? With the hillbillies? Huh? Have you ever seen Deliverance? Fucking idiot. I have made poor choices. I will admit that. But no self-control, really, at all? I could have more self-control. Yes, we could all have more self-control. Okay, motherfucker. Oh, he's a failure to launch. Oh, I know one of those. You know, he's fucking what, 50 years old. He still lives with his parents. And at some point, you know, like instead of telling people that he lived with his parents, they lived with him. Now they live with him, you know. Before, you know, like he would tell people, yeah, I live with my parents. I know. But then, you know, like now he tells people they live with me. It's my house. Yeah, sure it is, buddy. I don't have respect for people who are failure to launches. I'm sorry, man. Like, get your life together. You know, like I would respect you if you tried and failed. You know, like because of the economy and all that shit. All right, then I understand. But if you never even tried to, you know, like leave your fucking parents' house, like, gross. Like, no wonder, you know. All right, so what about this?
Morning and welcome to Breaking Points. Sagar is out today. Emily couldn't be here, and so here I am, joined by Crystal Ball. Crystal, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. Little lefty takeover of
That's
Breaking
right.
Points.
And it's appropriate. Yeah, we're going to talk about the DNC, and so I think people will benefit from the lefty takeover.
I mean, lefty takeover, in my opinion, is always appropriate. It's always the right move. So as you mentioned, we're going to do a bunch of promoing of the DNC or previewing of the DNC. We're actually going to be on the ground, all of us there. It's part of why we wanted to make sure Sagar rested up. So he is ready for that trip. And we've got a bunch of new polls we're going to dig into from some interesting states and some Tim Walz approval ratings we want to take a look at, see how he's doing with the people. We have both candidates talking about the economy. Kamala Harris issuing her very first policy pronouncements expected. What is that happening Friday? I think she's given that speech.
That sounds right. Yeah, first one that's not a reversal of her past positions. Exactly.
Right. She's gone from backtracking to now we may actually lay some groundwork in terms of what she might actually do. We've got some grumblings from the right.
Does anybody believe that Kamala Harris is going to pass any real legislature? Do you guys believe that Kamala Harris is going to pass any real, you know, substantial legislature? Come on. You think she's going to do anything about immigration? You think she's going to do anything about abortion or fucking gun rights or fucking the drug crisis? You think Kamala Harris is going to do anything about that shit? About homelessness? Goes catfishing with his Daisy lookalike wife for food. Got yourself a Daisy, huh, bullets? See? So, bullets, if you got yourself a Daisy, well, you know, what do you care? You're set, man. You're living the life. You know? Just rubbing it in, you know? Just rubbing it in at this point. I could care less what Harris does. You see, but that's the problem, Kosti. You see what I'm saying? How you don't really care? You don't really, that's the problem, that all the Democrats, all they care, they've been brainwashed into thinking that Trump is the worst thing that ever fucking happened, dude. Like Trump is the biggest problem. So as soon as we figure out Trump, as soon as Trump gets, you know, loses this election, everything's gonna be just fine, right? Like, please. No, you're funny.
Right, including Megyn Kelly and Candace Owens about Trump and his team and how his campaign is going. We've got the media deciding not to publish any of the hacked Trump campaign documents, obviously stark contrast with how they handled 2016. So I'm particularly interested to hear Ryan's perspective on that. We've got Mehdi Hathman coming in. He's got a documentary about the absolute horrors that are being perpetrated in Gaza. So looking forward to speaking with him about that. And we got a little Ryan special. He's taking a look at MDMA therapy had a major setback at the FDA. And you've got two different experts coming in to talk about this, right, Ryan?
Yes, both of them.
Kosti, your Trump derangement syndrome is well known. Okay? We've documented your Trump derangement syndrome here on the Robert Escobar show. All right. So everybody knows that Kosti is a fucking libtard who will, fall in line with the rest of the Democrats. They say jump. Kosti says how high. He doesn't care. All he cares about is beating the rapist. Which you're telling me that Joe Biden's not a fucking rapist? Or fucking Kamala? How many people has Kamala raped, huh? We're all fucking monsters. You guys are like, oh no, but this monster's, better, This monster only puts people in jail for the rest of their lives, and they get raped there. And she laughs about it, She doesn't actually do the raping. She just sends people to prison so they get raped. Huh? And then she laughs about it. No. Am I going to vote for Trump? Does anybody here think that I'm going to vote for Trump? Anyone here really think that I'm going to vote for Trump? So shut up, Catamus. You're a perfect example. You're another lefty who demands nothing from the Democrats. You'll give away your vote for nothing. You're giving it away for free. All right. Haven't you learned that doesn't work by now, bitch? Stop giving it away for free. Nobody wants
actually have been, heavily involved in the decision that the FDA released recently not to move forward with legalizing it for medical purposes. So,
you're so needy. You're so fucking needy, dude. Like, gross.
Kind of a mess, complicated. And we'll talk to them. They disagree pretty strongly about which direction to go, and both of them played a kind of leading role in this mess.
Yeah, so it's interesting because they're both advocates for the therapy, but they had very different views about what they wanted the federal government approach to be. So I'm looking forward to watching that one personally and hearing what the different perspectives are there. But let's go ahead and get to the first block here. As we mentioned, the DNC is starting next week. It's easy to forget because everything just happened so fast and it feels like a million years ago at this point that Joe Biden dropped out of the race. But this is quite an unusual situation where, just a couple months ago, we thought it was going to be a different guy who was being coronated at the DNC. Now we've got Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. As I mentioned before, and can put this up on the screen, all four of us are going to be on the ground in Chicago. There we are. Look at that exciting group of people.
Good looking crew.
I'm sure many of you have noticed, and Glenn Greenwald noticed, that since the selection of Tim Walz, the new Che Guevara, Tim Walz, the best leftist who ever lived, Tim Walz, a lot
the Segway Diaries are coming out this fall.
Right. Yeah, the Segway Diaries. Exactly. Yes. Ever since the selection of Tim Walz, a lot of progressives have been ecstatic about the Kamala ticket. And so Greenwald tweets out here, online left liberals already extracted all the value there is.
Okay. So what should I be doing? I'm a big believer in don't worry about what other people do. Don't worry about, I'm not worried about Kosti. Don't worry about what Kosti does. Don't worry about what Catamus who Catamus Rex does or wants to be doing. You're never going to be good enough. You're never going to be good enough, Catamus. Don't you get that? You're never going to be good enough for him. No one is. Let it go. Walk away, dude. Walk away. Learn when to hold them and when to fold them. All right? Catamus, just think about it, right? I don't care. Don't worry about what Dean is doing. Don't worry about Dean. Worry about what Robert's doing. So what is Robert doing? What should Robert be doing? Now you don't believe in Bigfooting? Oh, now you don't believe in Bigfoot? No, she's not. No, she's not. She's in Texas, all right? That's where she is.
To get from feigning anger over Gaza. They fortified their radical brand, profited from traffic, etc. It was always predictable they would drop it soon as the election approached and they had to work to elect Democrats. So Glenn tweeted that out on August 8th. That was 2 days after the selection of Tim Walz for VP. He follows that up with, it's repellent enough to watch people scream genocide for 10 months, then not even pretend to care about it any longer. It's worse still to outright lie and deceive followers by claiming Kamala said she's open to an arms embargo towards Israel. That was directed at Emma Vigeland, who is quoted below. So her tweet that he's quoting there is, here's some better news from New York Times. Kamala Harris reportedly met with the co-founders of the Uncommitted movement before the rally. The rally in question is the rally, of course, where she said, I'm speaking to the pro-Palestine protesters, which we'll get to in a minute. This is sort of a memento time-ordered segment here, and indicated that she was open to an arms embargo towards Israel. Then introduced those activists to members of her staff. These need to turn to commitments. So that's what Glenn was quote tweeting there. Glenn, please reply with evidence. So she did not take kindly to being quote tweeted there. Glenn, please reply with evidence that we were pretending to care about Gaza. We must have been playing a long game by covering every day on the Majority Report. The New York Times said,
Mo. Here comes Mo. Here he comes. Oh, you guys. Oh, man. You guys are hilarious, man.
Says she's open to a meeting where Uncommitted will request an arms embargo. Thoughts on Trump's position on the genocide? So, the but Trump defense, right?
Yep.
So she gives her supporting evidence here, this from the organizers themselves. So she quotes this. The organizers here say, both Elabed and Alloway thanked the vice president for her openness to engaging with the demands of uncommitted voters. Elabed also thanked Governor Walz for recognizing and supporting uncommitted Democratic primary voters. Okay, so this reminds me a lot of when we interviewed the railroad workers when they were being screwed over by Joe Biden. And the railroad workers were grateful that some of the staffers from Cori Bush's office floated the idea of passing an amendment alongside the shitty terms of the TA. And we kind of checked them a little bit on the air. We said, no, they only did that so that you would be convinced they're fighting for you, but they're not. And I was a little frustrated with them, just like I'm a little frustrated with this activist here for not realizing that she's being gaslighted. But
right.
There's only so much anger you can muster for like people who are in it. This is an activist. The railroad workers, they're workers. Like there's only so much you can expect them to be aware of and to know. If you are like Emma Vigeland, let me just make this point. On the other hand, if you are privileged enough to be in a position where you get to run your mouth about politics for a living, as Emma is, as Glenn is, as we are now, thanks to all of you in our audience, you have a responsibility to see through this bullshit. And this was such obvious bullshit, as we covered in a previous segment, and we'll get more into this time. But they're doing here what the squad did to the railroad workers, what Ryan Grimm did to the railroad workers. Hey, look, the railroad workers were happy that we offered an amendment to the TA. Hey, look, the activists are grateful that they got some lip service from Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, knowing full well, if you know anything about anything, much less a professional political commentator, you know Kamala's Israel policy is not going to change. If you know anything about anything. And so it's just so sleazy and low to trot out these people who have skin in the game, who are desperate, and say, hey, look, They appreciate Kamala. Why don't you? Why don't we? Because we know better, because it's our job to know better.
Right. I think these activists are put in a position where they're doing this dance because, on the one hand, in the best of cases, some of them are just cynically trying to make a living off a cause. But the ones who are sincerely committed to the cause, who are not just careerists, they're trying to put pressure on these politicians while not alienating them to the point that they have no access or influence. I think what a lot of them don't realize is you might maintain access, but you don't have any influence.
Exactly.
All the influence you have is you will make them feel that they have to pretend to care in order to get people who follow your comments to vote for them.
Exactly.
What do you guys think about what they're saying? What do you guys think about what they're saying? So progressive, the progressives, the so-called progressives, the TYTs, the Sam Cedars, the Scam Cedars, the fucking, what's the other one? The serfs, the serfs, all those fucking bullshit, fake lefties who say they care about Medicare for all, but then do nothing about it, who say they care about, a living wage and then do nothing about it, who say they care about, Palestine and then do fucking nothing about it except, run interference for these people and make fucking excuses for why they can't intervene. Oh, APEC. Oh, Israel lobby, so are the Democrats funding war crimes? Are they just as bad as Republicans or are they not? I mean, what are you talking about? What are you guys fucking talking about? Like that Kamala is the lesser of two evils. How is Kamala the lesser of two fucking evils? What are you talking about? These people are actually getting their agenda done. If she wanted to fix inflation or fix the economy or not tax tips, she could do it right now. Why don't they do it right fucking now? Huh? They're so full of shit, man. And I don't understand why lefties, why coasties are so fucking weak. But it's because he doesn't need anything. He doesn't worry about Coasty's not worried about his family or friends or his tenants or that's the problem. Coasty's good. It's not until our survival, until your friends and family are struggling, then maybe you guys will see. So see how you have nothing to say? See how you have no argument against what I'm saying though, right? You have no argument against what I'm saying. So they're not funding war crimes. They're not, the Democrats didn't fucking waste what, 24 billion. Didn't we read that story? And they've done nothing except line their pockets, sitting on fucking, nonprofits, stealing that money from people. So is that it, Coasty? Are you one of those people? I bet Coasty's on a nonprofit, just hoarding money from the state or the government and not doing shit, right? Or just lining his pockets. But we don't know because Coasty's hiding in anonymity like the rest of the trolls. You see? So
they want you to say things like this, and they get you to say things like this by pretending they might do something differently, even though they absolutely will not. So as you say, it's hard to blame the activists. They're trying, and a lot of them are naive, and that's how you get co-opted. That's how you start out with a well-intentioned movement that ends up being an arm of the Democratic Party.
Sunrise Movement. Look at the Sunrise Movement. That's exactly what happened.
I think I think it was Jill Stein who said the Democratic Party is the graveyard for radical movements.
That was actually Shama said that.
Oh, Shama said that?
Yeah. Yep.
I don't mean to steal it from Shama.
Stolen valor.
Stolen valor. But that's exactly what it is, and it's the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Like you look at Cori Bush, I think she went into Washington sincere. I remember when she camped out on the steps of the Capitol to get new provisions into, I think it was the CARES Act. I think she went in wanting to shake things up. Um,
Oh, I must have struck a nerve. I must have struck a nerve. I must have struck a nerve, right? Did I describe you, Al? You know, some fake lefty, sitting on the board of a nonprofit saying that they care about fucking homelessness while they do nothing about it except fucking line their pockets with the money, that they're supposed to. Okay, all right. But yeah, what do I know? I don't know. I don't know anything. Exactly. What do I know? I'm not even wearing pants.
I think once you're there, man, you get your mind right. I think it's a very road to hell is paved with good intentions thing. I think a lot of them, they compromise this because they're told you got to do this to get that and to get this, or you're going to get nothing. And before you know it, you're John Conyers. You're just completely, from having been this real legit activist, you're just a tool for the powers that you went in there intending to fight against. And I think you can see how that happens here. If Kamala gets her way, uncommitted will be out there sending you emails about how you have to vote for
Right. Yeah, exactly.
people in the midterms, and they just want to suck them in.
Well, that's the thing. They get, and this is what you said, and that's a great point. They give you access to string you along for votes. That's why they give you. If they don't give you any access, then they can't string you along, right?
And it's hard, I'm sure, for a lot of these people not to be impressed. Oh, wow.
Oh, look,
I'm
they're
meeting
listening.
with
Right,
Kamala
yeah, wow.
Harris.
Right.
Wow. You know what? You know who I just got a phone call from? Chuck Schumer called me. I think it's hard for people who, most of these people are not from famous families or backgrounds. They're not used to engaging with people with that kind of public profile. I think they get a little swept away by it too.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah. And these protesters, tend to be a little younger, right? So, they're a little more susceptible to flattery and things like that. But yeah, no, it's very obvious that her policy is not going to change. And so in response to this, Glenn responds, you are lying with the goal of helping to mislead leftist voters into voting for.
Exactly. So don't worry about what, so again, like I'm asking you guys, so what you guys think I should be doing, because I'm not worried about Dean. I'm not worried about Bob. I'm not worried about Cadamus, or Al. I mean, I am in the bigger picture, but so don't worry about what other people do. Worry about yourself. So what should I be doing? Should I be, still protesting outside Norma Torres's office? What do you guys think? Should I be trying to talk to people on the street? Should I be trying to make, document, like some kind of documentary on fucking, how shitty things have gotten in the last 20 years. Meanwhile, the Democrats, do fucking nothing but jerk us around. For what though? So okay, so then Al, you think that I can't go and sell out right now? You think that I can't sell out and get some fucking corporate gig and make six figures and not worry about myself and not worry about other people? What does it matter if everything around me goes to shit? If the system is broken, don't you get that? I'm not worried about myself. I'll be fine. Robert's gonna be just fine. I'm worried about idiots like you who don't seem to see how bad it's getting. Like, this is another example. I was watching this today. This is okay. I don't know who this guy is, but I've seen him a lot. So
recent violent attacks in Santa Monica and a growing homeless population have shaken neighbors and businesses.
A series of high-profile crimes over the past several weeks became part of a showdown between the city and businesses as to whether this sign is true. Immediately.
So that's what I should be doing? Is that what you're doing? You're organizing the community? All right.
they called the police around 2 a.m. and they showed up around 4 a.m.
The system's broken. Nothing is being done about it.
So this is Santa Monica. It's the city I grew up in. It's where I spent most of my time as a teenager, and it's even where I bought a house on the same street.
So let me ask you a question, Al. Who is organizing the community? Who is out there? You know, who should I support that is actually, you know, doing something about these things, huh? And what's the timeline?
Grew up on before moving to Las Vegas. But as you're about to see, what used to be a thriving, vibrant culture and economy is now a barren wasteland of empty buildings and crime. And apparently it's gotten so bad in recent months that I didn't even believe it myself until I saw what I'm about to show you. Even though this is going to be unlike any other video I've ever done, I'm going to walk you through the city firsthand, share what it used to be like from someone who lived here, speak with the locals to see what they think about the recent events, and then I'll leave it up to you to come to your own conclusions. I'd also like to thank German and Venice for bringing this to my attention, because before I saw this video, I had no idea just how bad things had gotten. Now, for those unaware, behind me is the 3rd Street Promenade. Think of this like the major business hub of Santa Monica, home to some of the now most expensive real estate in the country. But it wasn't always like that. Surprisingly, today, Santa Monica is safer than just 2% of US cities. It's ranked one of the top 10 most dangerous places in the United States, and your chances of being victim of a crime here are nearly 1 in 100. So this used to be Crepe Cafe. I remember this place would always be packed on the weekends. On weekdays, there'd always be people out front eating food. You can see now that they closed down. And then over here, right across the street, this building used to be my bank. This used to be HSBC, and they shut down when COVID happened. They turned out a lot of their offices, but this all used to be really popular lease space that also is vacant right now. So we're not even about 50 feet away from that, and we have 3 more vacancies here. This used to be a Hollister. We have another vacancy next door to it, and then another vacancy across the street. So it seems like a lot of these businesses have shut down. We also have another right here that I just missed that's for lease. What's kind of remarkable is that 40% of the 3rd Street Promenade right now is vacant. 40% of all of this space right now is completely empty, and I can't lease it. I also used to remember for the longest time there used to be street performers here, and now it's quite...
So here's my point. Here's the point. If you're not seeing this in your own hometown, I can go right now to the shopping center that are all the businesses are shut down. The Target, you know, is in a shopping center, and the only thing open is the Target. All of the other shops are all closed. So if you're not witnessing this happen before your own eyes, you know, then it must be nice, you know, like you must be, you know, in your little echo chamber somewhere, and it doesn't worry you, but it worries me. So my concern isn't valid. No, that's normal, right? Okay.
Empty? Hold on. I mean, this is what it's turned into.
Okay. Did I lose the stream? Okay, Coasty, what exactly is he right about? Huh, Coasty? I'm crying about economics in Santa Monica? What?
Country. You have a public safety kiosk just because of how many incidents they have around here. You know, truth be told, I actually don't know what a public safety kiosk is. Or should we ask?
Hey, I'm curious. What is a public safety kiosk? I grew up here and I don't.
This.
What
it's
is?
just basically like a slow station, or if people have questions, or something happens.
The owner says a similar smash and grab happened in February. Other stores along the promenade, like Lids, tell Eyewitness News they've been victims of the same crime, even though a Santa Monica Police Department public safety kiosk is right in front of the store.
Now, I will say there's one store that has been here ever since I was a kid. In the 90s, was Puzzle Zoo. At one point, they occupied both stores, but they had to downsize. So now they're taking half. The other half is taken up by Lids. But that store has somehow survived for probably about almost 40 years now, even though across the street, you have 2 more vacancies here. I also got to say it's quite remarkable when you compare how it used to look like back in like 2018, because you could go back on Google Street View and see precisely what was here, how many people were here, and then you see the change. Oh, this is a fun one. So this is now for lease. Guess how much they're asking for this? It's 1,500 square feet. It's on the corner of Santa Monica Boulevard and 3rd Street, so it's like a kind of prime location. They're asking $30,000 a month. So just think.
Talking about. So you're saying that the bubble needs to pop? Is that what you're saying? So then, yeah. All right. So nobody has. So you guys don't. You guys aren't seeing this, happening in your own towns. Is that what it is? This isn't happening around your town.
Think about that. If you're a small business, you're probably spending $30,000 a month in rent, then another $30,000 a month in overhead costs. So just to break out there at Santa Monica Boulevard and 3rd Street, so it's like a kind of prime location. They're asking $30,000 a month. So just think about that. If you're a small business, you're probably spending $30,000 a month in rent, then another $30,000 a month in overhead costs. So just to break even every month, you need to bring in $60,000. I don't get how any company could survive here unless it's a loss leader, unless you just put your business here for the exposure and then you lose money on it. It doesn't make any sense. So we're about to cross the street. This entire building used to be the Gap. They rented out all 4 stories and they extended through the end of the street. This has been empty for a very, very, very long time. I believe they closed down during COVID and they decided this just wasn't worth it anymore to stay in business here. I believe shoplifting took a hit on them, but also just they weren't getting as many sales in person. And with the state of how the promenade is, it makes sense. Why put a store here? Why pay the rent when it's just not making any money? This also used to be a really popular restaurant.
That's a great argument, Al. That's a great argument. See how your anonymity makes you look like a fool? So why don't you show your face and show us what a community leader looks like, Al? Why doesn't Al show us what a community leader looks like, huh?
restaurant. It looks like they've closed down, and whoever the new owner is, or maybe it's the existing owner, decided to renovate it completely. So it'll be interesting to see what this becomes. I'm also really uneasy about recording in public, so I'm doing my best. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. If you appreciate me going outside of my comfort zone for this, I really don't like it. You can see there's people all around, and I'm terrified inside, but I'm doing it for you. So this used to be a lot more.
Being able to have something to always protect myself with this Byrna allows me to have that peace of mind no matter where we're really at.
It provides you with peace of mind. Not only that you can thwart the threat, but that you don't have to take a life.
Prevalent in Santa Monica with street performers. People would really come from around the country to be able to perform on these streets and perform in front of a crowd. But now it's incredibly empty. Like, this is the first person that we've seen in a block and a half.
So because I'm using this to illustrate my point, and you guys have no argument except saying, oh, this guy's an idiot. I mean, really, guys? Really? So then it is obvious that the Democrats are failures, right? So it is obvious that you guys are falling in line with failures, right? It's obvious that they say that they care about homelessness, but then they do nothing about it. They say they care about businesses. They say they care about people. What do you think? Who do you think is benefiting from this? Who is going to benefit from all of these businesses being shut down? Huh? Yeah. Maybe capitalism. Yeah, maybe we need to look at capitalism. Yeah.
Who's performing, it's pretty sad to see the state that Santa Monica's become. So what's really interesting is that we've spoken to a few business owners and people who work here, and not a single person wants to share their experience on camera, but they'll gladly talk off camera. And everyone is afraid of almost being public about how they feel about the situation because they're afraid of either retaliation or being canceled for having thoughts that aren't politically correct. But it seems, though, that a lot of people feel the exact same way about what's going on here. It's just they're too afraid to speak about it. So this used to be the food court. There used to be a McDonald's in here. There was a Chinese food that was really good. And then upstairs used to be a whole bunch of restaurants. And I think this closed in 2020, and it hasn't reopened since. Again, it's probably because the rent is so unbelievably high.
Exactly. That's why it bothers them so much, like that's why it makes them so angry that me, like some pothead property manager is pointing out to them how fucking dumb they are. Like I'm the stupid one, right? But I'm the stupid one for saying, hey guys, the system is broken. We need to do something about it. And they're all like, oh, you don't know how the system works, Robbie. We just gotta fucking, bend over and fucking take it, man. Capitalism, go back to school, Robbie. Like, dude, like, okay. Like, you don't have anything else to offer people, like you think that only one third of people go to college. So 2/3 of people aren't college educated. That means the average person doesn't have a college degree. So who is stupid now when you're trying to tell everyone to go and get a fucking, like, that's not the problem, guys. The problem is that corporations are fucking us, and you guys are too weak and too impotent to do anything about it because you think that saying something to the fucking people in power is going to alienate them, and they're not going to want to fucking do anything or have anything to do with you. And you guys, why don't you guys grow a fucking pair and demand what you deserve? That's what I'm saying. So to me, you guys look stupid. Don't you get that? You look stupid to me for giving away your votes for nothing and demanding nothing in exchange. So go ahead, milk yourselves. So you have nothing to say against, so you have no argument against what I'm saying, right? So you have nothing to fucking say. You have nothing to say. So you're useless. You're worthless. You guys are milking yourselves. Oh my God.
But there is some good news in the fact that across the street, it seems like Barnes & Noble is opening up. So perhaps a few of these businesses are beginning to move back to the area. So the last block of the promenade has always been the most difficult for businesses because people tend to gravitate towards that side. So this is somewhat neglected.
You realize how
that's
fucking stupid you sound, Al? Do you not see how stupid this sounds to me? Al, is this where you are in the conversation? Is this really where you are in the conversation? Al, sit down, shut the fuck up. The adults are talking, okay? The adults are talking, Al.
It's hit especially hard because you have 3 vacancies in a row on this side. Across, you have another vacancy on this side, and then a few stores down, you have 1, 2 more empty buildings on that side, which makes it really difficult because why would you want?
Why? God damn it. Can you guys think through these fucking arguments? Why do I have to shop at Walmart? I don't want to shop at Walmart. It's just easier and it's cheaper than everywhere else. Don't you get that? I've already had this argument. That is not that is the problem. That is part of the problem. So how do we fix that? Jesus fucking Christ, Dean. Oh, I'm lazy. Yeah, okay.
Want to move your business in here when there are just empty businesses next to you. It gets a lot less foot traffic. Yeah.
Hey, hit the like and subscribe.
There we go.
Guys.
Thank you.
I've seen you before, bro. Have a great
Thank
day.
you. Yeah, you too.
Like and subscribe.
Thank you.
This guy's amazing.
Thank you. So you're probably wondering, what happened? Well, it's really the perfect storm. The first reason is that people are shopping a lot more online, so there's less of a reason to have a storefront out here like this. The second reason is COVID. Businesses were forced to shut down. They weren't allowed to operate, and as a result, businesses lost a lot of money and had to close. So I think from all the closures here, this one resonates the most with me because I used to come here as a kid in the 90s, and this used to be a Barnes & Noble. Then my understanding is that in 2018, they doubled the rent. Barnes & Noble said they couldn't possibly sell that many books to be able to pay the rent. They left. It was then taken over by WeWork. We know how that turned out. WeWork went out of business, and since then, this building has sat empty. Now, a big problem with a lot of the real estate that's here is that the building's value is really tied to the amount of rent they receive. So if a developer decides to lower the rent, all of a sudden, if they take a lower rent, their building is worth a lot less. And then when you have one building that's worth a lot less, that acts as a comp for other buildings next to it to also be worth a lot less. So in a sense, they're almost forced to keep the rents high just to maintain their value. And in terms of how much it costs, it's very expensive. Rents here on the promenade start about $5 to $6 a square foot. And they go as high as $20 a square foot. So that means sometimes for a 1,000 square foot storefront, you could pay anywhere from $7,000 to $20,000 a month. Or if you have 3,000 square feet, even at $6 a square foot, that's $18,000 a month just in rent alone that you have to make up for with street traffic that just isn't here anymore. So really outside of any high-end restaurants or national retailers, no one could really afford what's here. The other issue is that a lot of these buildings were built in a time where a business could take over the entire store. But now we've shifted towards smaller buildings. And places like this are really difficult to subdivide. So what ends up happening is that you have a 3,000 square foot place for rent, and they can't chop it up into smaller storefronts. You're stuck either renting the entire thing or nothing at all. The other issue is homelessness. Right now it's reported that there's 117 homeless per 1 square mile, which is some of the highest in the country. And again, that's just what they could count. Now the thing is though, if you are homeless, I mean, look at where we are. It's one of the most beautiful places in the entire country. And that's one of the difficult parts, is because when I walk around here, it is so nice. The weather is perfect. The scenery is incredible. I mean, it's really one of a kind, and I see why people want to be here so badly and how beautiful it is. Even for me, having left, there are aspects of Santa Monica and Los Angeles that I really miss, just because it's so unbelievably gorgeous here. Now, in terms of solving the homelessness issue, California has spent so far about $24 billion since 2019. And this behind us is an example of exactly that. This used to be a parking structure that was torn down to build affordable housing for the homeless. However, the cost is through the roof. A lot of locals say that it costs way too much money at $125 million, which means every unit that's going to be built here for the homeless is going to cost about $1 million. Now, for context, if you want to buy your own condo here in Santa Monica, it's going to cost you anywhere between $1 million to $1.5 million, give or take. Or you could live here if you're homeless. The other issue is crime. Petty theft under $950 is now considered a misdemeanor. And that's really impacted a lot of businesses.
Prop 47 passed in 2014 and changed the way California handles certain crimes, making thefts of less than $950 chargeable as only misdemeanors.
I done seen people look at the store owner and take it right in front of them and walk out.
It has fueled a market of petty and repeat offenses with zero to low accountability.
After that, we have the rail line, which extends all the way from downtown to Santa Monica. The concern that I've heard from some of the locals is that this rail line makes it very accessible for people to travel.
Every fucking day. Have we not watched this on when I'm looking the weather? Almost every fucking day there's something on the fucking train, on the metro. So, I mean, what is like, what is it going to take? Like, does it have to take you being a victim of crime? Is that what it takes for you people to understand? When was the last time any of you were a victim of crime? How about that? How about you guys explain, tell me that. When was the last time any of you guys was a victim of crime, huh? Out. Where okay, so where am I supposed to shop that I can order my groceries online and just drive up and pick them up, and two, that they're going to give them to me at the same prices, okay? So what are my options at this point? Do you understand that argument, but that's already too late. That's already too late. You're using it, and that's where you are in this conversation. You don't realize that Walmart has already fucking taken over? You dumb motherfucker. Is that really? Academics, I'm not lazy. You think that that's lazy? You think that so then I'm supposed to pay more for my groceries because what? Because of my principles? That's so stupid. If you guys have the time, I mean, must be fucking nice to sit around, calling people lazy for not having the fucking time to pay extra for their groceries or fucking, look for click coupons or whatever the fuck you guys do. Please. All morning? I don't actually. I have time. I have 1 hour in the day. So if I do that, Catamus, then that's gonna fix the problem. That's gonna fix the problem, right? That's how you guys are that's how you guys are community leaders. That's your community leadership right there. That's your community leadership right there. All right, guys, everybody, go pay an extra fucking 20-30% for your groceries and fucking, take an hour or two extra out of your fucking day, because these fucking idiots tell you, I should do something more productive with my time. Okay? I should do something more productive with my time, right? Don't be stupid, right? Come on. You know better than this, all right? Exactly, Dean. No, you motherfuckers are. Oh, I'm ruining everything. Yeah. I work all day. I know. They're such weak cowards, they just go along, like they don't realize They don't realize that they're the fucking, the bad ones, like with their complicity. Their complicity makes them the fucking stupid ones. All right, they think they know better. They think they know better. Have a great day. Stay out of trouble. Be productive. Behave. All that jazz. Go finish watching this video. Like go actually try to come up with a real argument against what I'm saying. Bye.